What's going on, everybody? I'm J Hugs, and I have been playing the DC Dual Force beta ever since the very first streamer beta weekend. And DC Dual Force just got one of its biggest updates yet, and that is the addition of crafting. Now, this is something that has been highly requested for quite a while now. Don't mind the deck names here, but if we go to your collection and you go to this section here at the top, which is called atomization. We click here, and this is basically what crafting is in the game. Now, I already converted all my cards here, but any extra copies of cards that you own in the game will be converted into atoms, and then those atoms can be converted into crafting cards that you do not own. So this is a really good feature that a lot of people have been requesting for a while now. The beta, when it first came out, it was a little bit rough. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a beta, right? We've gone through several stages of the beta so far. First, it was the streamer beta. Then it was the closed beta. Then it was the 24/7 beta, and now we are technically in the open beta. So I think we are getting closer to this game's full official launch on PC. But anyways, atomization is here, which is crafting. You can see I have 2,865 atoms. And then we have these cards here, which are called Omni cards. Now, I believe these are sort of similar to what I would say is like wild cards in Legend of Runeterra. You can use them to just immediately convert them into cards, right? Like the blue is the rare, purple super rare, and then the gold is the ultimate card. Now, we don't have any ways to access these resources just yet, but there was a message from a DC Dual Force developer in the official Discord that did say we will be getting ways to earn these resources later on. One of those could be getting them from the daily login reward track. But for me, I actually have all the cards in the game except for two cards, which is the two comic cards, the two latest comics I have not played yet. So if we just look at these cards here, this is kind of what the crafting will look like here. You click a card, you don't have it. It costs 300 to craft it with the atoms. I'm not going to craft it since you can basically get this card for free from the comic. But it's 300 to craft it, or you can also do the deluxe version of the card, which is basically like an animated version of the card, which will cost you 1,200 atoms. And of course, you can get it with those Omni cards or wild cards, I guess, whatever you want to call them. But I believe the correct term is Omni cards, but we don't have any available in the game just yet. But I kind of just want to take this time to let you guys know what is happening in DC Dual Force, because this game has just been getting better and better over time. Along with the patch today, we got a new comic. So let me take you over to the comic screen. If maybe you're new to DC Dual Force, or you played it a little bit earlier on in the closed beta and you haven't played it in a while, you're thinking of coming back, well, they have been adding more comics into the game. These are all the comics so far. Now we got 6 comics. We got Justice League Part 1, Part 2. We got Blue Beetle, which was really fun. I really enjoyed this comic. We got Flashpoint Part 1, Flashpoint Part 2. I haven't played this one yet. And then Superman Shazam. This one just came out today. So for completing this one, you get rewards, right? You get one of the new cards, Dr. Savannah. You get a Shazam emote, 1,000 dual coins. This one you get the 2 Flashpoint cards, card back, and 1,000 dual coins. So if you're new to DC Dual Force, the comics are basically like single player sort of like adventure modes, and it's really cool. This is probably one of like my favorite sort of like single player game mode in a card game. I know Legends of Runeterra's single player mode is very well received. It has very high standards for a lot of people, and it is something different, right? It's kind of like a roguelike, whatever you want to call it. But this is really like it's kind of like reading a comic book, honestly. Like you're reading the comic, It'll take you through it. You read a couple pages, and it'll actually show like the art on screen and the dialogue, and it'll be narrated for you. And then let's say a battle happens in the comic, right? It's like, oh, Batman runs into Green Lantern, and it's like, okay, well, now you get to play that in the game, Batman plus Green Lantern. And it's really cool. Like, there's a lot of little unique things to these comic book adventures that differentiate themselves by just being, I play card here, you deal damage to leader, you get their health down to 0. Like, not every comic is like that, right? Like, there's alternate things you can do here. Like, there's I believe it's Justice League Part 2, where you go against Darkseid, and it's like, oh, you can't beat Darkseid right now. Like, you just can't kill him. So you just gotta weaken him and survive as long as you can. Which is really cool, right? Like, there's different ways to win in the game. There's puzzles. There's cards in here that you don't see in the multiplayer, online aspect of the game. So I would highly recommend checking out the comics if you have not already. They are very, very fun, and they're usually pretty quick. I would say each comic takes about, I don't know, maybe on average like 45 minutes. Depending on your skill level, if you're taking your time with it, and that's the thing too, is there's no time limit on your turns, which is really nice. It gives you it gives you time to think. It gives you time to learn the cards. That way you can play with the cards before you hop into ranked multiplayer. And that is an excellent segue, because if you haven't played in a while, they just added ranked mode. So as you can see here, if we go to the play screen, we got versus AI, we got unranked, and we got ranked. So right now, I'm currently rank 22, and these are all the rankings. You start at 80, and you work your way down all the way to rank 0, World's Finest, which is the highest rank in the game. I will admit it was kind of a grind getting out of Sidekick at first. 80 to 51 does take a long time to get out of, but once I got past that initial grind of the Sidekick rank, it became much faster to climb through the ranks, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And you get rewards from winning ranked games. So let's say you get to rank 50, you get the Ares card, which is a new card actually. You get booster packs, random deluxe reward, booster packs, Superman emotes, some cards, a card back, booster pack, and so on and so forth. So they are just adding more and more rewards to this game. And ranked, some people don't care about rank, and some people do. I personally like to play ranked. I think, I guess it is, kind of silly to just think like, oh, my number has meaning now, but it kind of does. I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess. But me personally, I like to play ranked mode. So there is that, and there is also the daily login track. So there's two different tiers here. There's the silver tier, which is the free tier, and then there is the gold tier, which is the paid tier, which is part of the subscription, which is $10 a month, which is basically like a season pass, right? So every day you log in, you get different rewards, and then the rewards vary based on the free track or the premium track. I will admit it does kind of suck for the free-to-play players. Like, at first it does look pretty good, but once you get a little bit later on, there's just like, you don't get anything that day. That kind of sucks. I wish they would give you at least a little bit something. Like, I don't know, just give you like a small amount of dual coins, but maybe later on they will add those Omni cards for the crafting later on. I think they could fit those in here in these empty spots for now, but this just released this month. We still have 12 days left in this season, so yeah, it's still brand new, right? And they're still working on it and innovating and all of that. And in addition to the login rewards, we now have quests. So we have daily quests and we have weekly quests. Now, they did also change the quests in the most recent patch. Now, if you haven't played DC since they added quests, this isn't going to mean much to you. But if you have been playing DC and you are unaware, they did change the quests a little bit. So the daily quests are now worth 750 dual coins. They used to be 1,000. And the weekly quests are now 3,000 dual coins. They used to be worth 4,000. And to kind of offset that lower coin output, they made the quests a little bit easier. So I guess it is kind of bad for those who played this game a lot and really grinded this game for the quest, because you're playing the game, you're probably going to complete the quest either way, but now you're getting less resources out of it. But it is better for those people who are more casual players, who maybe just log in once a day, play a few matches, and get out. It's going to be easier for those people because the requirements for these quests are a little bit easier to achieve. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. There is a whole article on the DC Dual Force website that I will leave a link for you in the description. You can check it out, and you can check out all the patch notes there as well. But basically, I think what they're trying to do is just kind of balance the game for the hardcore players, as well as make it a little bit more inviting for those casual players as well. They're trying to find that balance, right? Which is really difficult for any card game, really, because there's always going to be the casual players, there's always going to be the competitive players. So trying to find that perfect balance, and I think this is a step in the right direction, right? And then with the subscription as well, the subscription is now live, which I did mention earlier. Basically kind of like a battle pass. So what you get with it is you get access to all the comic adventures. And what that means is basically with the comics, they release some of them for a limited time. So I don't remember which ones off the top of my head are limited, since I do have the subscription. But basically, there are some comics that are going to be available for free, like all the time, and then there are some comics that are going to be free for a limited time, and then maybe they'll add it back at a later date. But if not, you can just get the subscription and you can play any comic at any time. You get 10 packs each month. Which is really nice. I think this alone, just like the comics and the monthly packs alone, I think are worth the $9.99. So if you're playing this game, I don't know, I guess I would say slightly more than casual, I think this is really good value, honestly. I think it is. These two alone, the comics and the monthly packs alone, are worth the $10 in my opinion. But on top of that, we get the special promo cards. And what we got for this month, to coincide with the Blue Beetle movie, actually, which is kind of cool, is we got the Blue Beetle mini set. So there were a ton of Blue Beetle cards that were just released, and they're a lot of fun to play with. And if you liked the Blue Beetle movie, you're thinking, hey, I want to play a DC game or something like that. I don't know what other DC games are active at the moment. Do people still play? People still play DC Universe Online? Is that a thing? I don't know. But anyways, I digress. Maybe you went to go see Blue Beetle movie. You load up DC Dual Force and you're like, hey, they added my boy Jaime Reyes to DC Dual Force, and you can play with all the Blue Beetle cards, which is really cool. And then, of course, we got the premium daily rewards, which I already went over for you. And that is, I think that's pretty much it that's been going on in DC Dual Force. I kind of just wanted to keep you guys updated for those who maybe played a little bit of DC Dual Force earlier on in one of the other betas. You haven't played a while, you're thinking, what's going on with DC Dual Force? Or maybe you are completely brand new to DC Dual Force. There's a ton to love here, right? There's a ton to love. We also, of course, we got all these bundles that you can buy, but of course, you don't have to spend any money if you do not want to. It's completely up to you. I think the game is pretty generous, and with the addition of crafting, the game is just getting better and just getting more generous as time progresses. And I know people are going to be asking this question, and that is, when is the game coming to mobile? I have no idea. But if I were to guess, I would say not anytime soon, to be honest with you, because they've really been focusing on the PC version and improving the PC version to make it the best version that it can be. And as of right now, the game is still technically in open beta. The game is going to come out on Steam whenever the full official launch of the game is. When that is, I don't know either. But I want to say that this game is amazing. I think the devs are really open. They're really communicative about their thought process behind their decisions on the game, the future of the game, and I'm really liking it so far. Oh, and they even having balance patches like every week too, which is really awesome, right? And then they put out a little developer's blog on their website every week with what is going on in the game. But anyways, that is it for me. I just want to let you guys know what's going on in DC Dual Force, and check out this game if you haven't already. It's awesome. It's just getting better. They're just updating everything, making it more polished, adding more content, and adding more resources to the game. So let me know what you guys think about this video. If you watched it, if you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it so much. And anyways, guys, hope to see you out there in DC Dual Force. That's going to be it for me. See you next time. Later.